Kornacki. So where are we today, Steve?
All right, Katie, we'll look at it from two vantage points here. First, nationally, this is the average of all the national polls coming out of that Labor Day weekend. Harris 48, Trump 45, 3-point advantage for the Democrats. They're happy to be ahead. They're happy to be in a different position than they were when Joe Biden was their candidate. Of course, he was basically trailing Donald Trump all year. But for Republicans, there's solace in these numbers, too, because Donald Trump is no stranger to this kind of a setup. Labor Day being a little bit behind. That was the case in 2016. He trailed Hillary Clinton by 5 points at this point, won the election. 2020, he trailed Joe Biden by high single digits at this point, didn't win the election, but came awfully close in the Electoral College. And the Electoral College is the next level. We'll take a look at this thing from. This is where it's won or lost, obviously. 7 core battleground states. You see them in gray here. We're going to be returning to them over and over the next 63 days. But there's all sorts of paths for each candidate here, at least potentially. Let's just show you the simplest and most direct for each. And we'll start with Kamala Harris. The polling in these states, obviously, it is close. It is exceedingly close in some of them. But it's been a tick better for Harris and the Democrats in these three, in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. All three of them went for Biden in 2020. And Harris's simplest path is probably just winning these three states. Let's turn them blue for the sake of showing you what that would mean in terms of the Electoral College. There you see it. And what does that give her? 270, exactly the magic number of electoral votes. Probably her simplest path. Now, from the Republican standpoint, what would Trump's simplest path be? Well, they'd obviously have to win one of these three. The one that they're most invested in is, and certainly right now, spending extremely heavily here. If Trump were to succeed in flipping Pennsylvania, take a look at what that would do. First of all, you see Harris would then have to compensate. Even if she had Wisconsin, Michigan, she'd then need to take at least 2 of these Sun Belt states. That's because Pennsylvania is the largest of the swing states, 19 electoral votes. But then Trump's path would be reasonably simple from here. What would he have to do if he gets Pennsylvania? Well, North Carolina, it's the one battleground state Trump already won in 2020. He would need to hold that. And then Georgia. The margin was just under 12,000 votes. Trump did win it in 2016. If Trump can win it back in 24, along with holding Carolina and flipping Pennsylvania, he'd be the one sitting at exactly 270 electoral votes. So, again, all sorts of different paths here. I think you see the simplest for each candidate. And I think if there's one big takeaway from this, first among equals when we talk about swing states is Pennsylvania, simply because with 19 electoral votes, it's larger than any of these others. And if you can get that, if either candidate can get Pennsylvania, the path from there for them each becomes very simple. So Pennsylvania, of all the swing states, looms probably as the most crucial right now.
Keep hearing that. Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania. If I had a whiteboard, maybe I'd write that down 3 times. Steve.